I just got home from the Remix Austin Meetup, and I wanted to share a little bit about my experience there tonight and talk about what they do as a community and share why it's awesome. So this meetup is run by Brooks Lebrand. He is part of the Remix team now, and he used to work at HEB. And so this Remix is hosted by HEB Digital and co-officed in the Favor building, downtown Austin. It's a really cool venue, and it's a great time. I was lucky enough to be involved early on, even I think maybe even 2 years ago now. I got to give a presentation, and somehow my picture ended up on the homepage for this site. So it's a fun little tidbit about me. And tonight they did something called Remix Rodeo. And I honestly didn't know what I was getting into when I showed up, but it's an evening where everyone forms teams and does a little mini hackathon revolving around the homepage for remixaustin.com or the website, and ideas for the website, things that could be interesting to put on it, or really just exploring React Router now, React Router 7 and its technology. And we formed teams about 3 to 5. There were 30 to 40 people there. There are, I think, 4 teams presented. One fun thing that I forgot Brooks did is that we record all of the meetups. And so I don't know when he will get around to posting. I don't see one on March. Maybe they skipped March, but it's fun to be able to go in and you can see old meetups and the recordings and the demos. And if there's a cool talk you want to see, those get presented. So I can share the demos that we did tonight. And tonight I just wanted to go ahead and talk about the one that my team worked on, because I think it was a really interesting exploration about what could be accomplished in an hour. And here it is, but I guess it's all behind this button here. Along with my team, we had a kind of a new developer on our team. Thought it would be interesting to explore what it'd be like to have an LLM that had the React Router 7 documentation available to it. I think we'll get into the details of what happened and why I don't fully know how it all works. But I have been working with the AI Vercel SDK and OpenAI and tool-based usages. So I know a little bit about how to set those up, and we used Supabase as a backend here. We went a little overboard on what we thought we could accomplish in an hour. But our end goal was to have a way for someone who's new to React Router to ask questions. I love the React Router 7 documentation, but they don't have a chatbot in it. I thought it'd be fun, along with my team, to come up with a game plan for building one of these out. We didn't think we'd be able to accomplish it all in an hour, but that was the first thing that we did, was come up with a game plan. And then I want to show it off first, see if it still works. Let me just say hi. So we have little avatars that we didn't quite flesh out. But all of this was built in an hour, which is amazing. So how can I assist you with React Router Day? Just getting started. Let me use my whisper. What are the different modes that you can run React Router in? I don't even know if that's the correct question, but I think there's different types of modes that you can set up React Router in. And this talks about, browser router. So this is giving you information about the router and 2 modes. Okay, this is great for a beginner wanting to learn about how the router can be set up. So how does this work under the hood? And how did we accomplish this in an hour? Let's dive in a little deeper. This is actually a link I think I can share. This is open source. Brooks created the Remix Austin repository as like a starting place that we could get started from for our hackathon today. And in the course of an hour, we had 2,000 line changes and 20 deletions. And the way that we accomplished this was we came up with an initial game plan. We were working with Claude in Cursor to come up with a game plan for what we wanted to do. Wanted to create a Supabase vector database that had information on React Router 7. And we wanted to have a web search tool, which might be what it's using. I don't know if we actually got the vector database working. So let's dive in and let's look into what's actually going on under the hood too. We were able to get the Vercel SDK working, have conversations saved in the Supabase. all of this. And so how were we able to accomplish this in an hour? This was my first time using Cursor with the Claude 3.7 Max mode. And it was a lot of fun. I was working with my teammates and we were just prompting away. Having this game plan at the beginning helped organize our goals and our work in progress. And then we just went to town, debugging things, adding features. It really one-prompted the UI with the skeleton. So if you can say, tell me more, you can see the skeleton loading in the chat here, which is pretty neat. And it takes a while. I guess it's either searching or doing RAG fetching behind the scenes to get this information. Okay, so I'm curious. Let's see what GitHub Copilot can determine for us. It's looking at our game plan. What tools did we set up for our AI SDK? I haven't worked with GitHub Copilot so much on this. It's not going to be super helpful here, unfortunately. I have used it in some cool ways to understand more about certain files and things and line changes. It's pretty handy to have. So let's go in and look at this AI SDK, see if we can find the right file. I'm not even super familiar with this code base because I prompted through it all. So it's pretty interesting to see how it solved all these problems. I'm definitely not writing code how I would. And I could probably have addressed some of that by having really smart cursor rules and taking my time to set up things the way that I would like it. But overall, it's amazing to see what can be accomplished in such a short amount of time. We have tools available to us, and we have React router docs and a web search. And the one I'm interested, I understand how kind of web search tool works, but the one I'm interested in is this React router docs tool to see if we actually got that working. Let's see if we can find that. Utils/tools as our Supabase document, React router docs tool, the description, and a query to find things. So we're getting an embedding, matching documents, and getting back the documents from that tool. So it seems like it set it up. Long story short is I think we didn't finish getting the embeddings set up in Supabase. I think what is happening is it's using the web search tool to find the information that it thinks is relevant and returns that to us. Still really incredible. We got super far. We used the max as much as we could and got pretty incredible results. So a little bit of planning can go a long way with your projects. And even if you're doing small tasks, I think it really helps to set the context and get your plan down of what your end goal should be, what you want to work with. One thing that really helped us is the MCP tooling. At the beginning of the project, I started a browser tools server and had the browser tools plugin on my browser hooked up to where it could capture screenshots, read the console logs, and get the errors. The Max context window included those logging and the errors, and that was able to help get us a lot further. One thing that I think would have also helped is setting up a Supabase MCP server that was able to read my tables and do some, I don't know if it can run SQL queries, but that would have been a pretty cool enhancement to get us further along. So finding a way to set up all these dev environment to take advantage of the AI coding workflows, I think is something that I need to spend more time on. I have not played around much with cursor rules yet. These MCP servers are giving Cursor some superpowers. I don't think we're going to lose our jobs soon, but the fact that we can work so much faster and solve these problems is incredible. And so now, how do we take this and apply it to the real world? I think it's all about setting context, getting your game plan down, and figuring out how to go from A to what to expect and getting your feedback loops along the way. So those are things that I learned during this meetup. I want to thank Brooks again for hosting and Grant for being a good mentor and our contact at HEB. Truly incredible group, and I'm looking forward to going to more of these. All right. Thanks for watching.